You've definitely heard the word galvanized before. It sounds tough, industrial, like something that could survive rain, time, and possibly a small meteor. People say it confidently, "Oh yeah, that's galvanized," and then immediately change the subject so no one asks follow-up questions. But what does it actually mean? Is it a special metal? A coating? A secret process involving lightning and a guy named Galvan? I'm Professor Everything, and today we'll be answering the question, what exactly is galvanized metal? Right here on Explaining Everything. First things first, galvanized metal is not a rare species of metal. You cannot mine it. You won't find a chunk of raw galvanized sitting in the earth waiting to be discovered like it's shy. In most cases, galvanized metal is just steel. Very normal, very basic steel that's been coated with zinc. That's the whole deal. The word galvanized doesn't describe what the metal is. It describes what's been done to it. The most common method is called hot dip galvanizing, where steel is submerged into a bath of molten zinc, heated to around 450 degrees Celsius. That's not warm. That's do not approach hot. When the steel comes out, the zinc doesn't just cling to the surface like paint. It chemically bonds with the steel, forming multiple layers that are part of the metal itself. So this isn't steel wearing makeup. This is steel after a full chemical makeover that it can never take off. And despite how fancy the word sounds, galvanizing isn't new. Versions of this process have existed for centuries. Humans figured out pretty early that metal lasting longer was a good idea, and zinc turned out to be a surprisingly heroic side character. Zinc's job isn't to look good. In fact, its entire purpose is to slowly destroy itself. Steel rusts when iron reacts with oxygen and moisture. Zinc, however, is more reactive than iron, which means it jumps into that reaction first. This is known as sacrificial protection, and yes, that is the actual scientific term. Zinc literally sacrifices itself so the steel doesn't rust. Even better, if the galvanized coating gets scratched and some steel is exposed, the zinc nearby will still corrode first, protecting the steel anyway. That's right, zinc will protect steel it's not even directly covering. That's next-level loyalty. This is why galvanized metal lasts so long. It's not invincible, but it's strategic. Eventually, the zinc does get used up, but it happens slowly and predictably, which is exactly what engineers love. No drama, no surprises. Just zinc calmly doing its job until there's nothing left to give. If you've ever looked closely at galvanized metal, you might have noticed it often has a weird, crystal-like pattern on the surface. That's not dirt. That's not damage. That's called spangle, and it's a result of zinc crystals forming as the metal cools. What you're seeing is zinc solidifying in a visible crystalline structure, its chemistry frozen in place. Basically, the metal decided to show you its skeleton. Not all galvanized metal has visible spangle. Some modern processes control cooling to create smoother finishes, but that classic blotchy look is a sign of a thick, well-formed zinc coating. Over time, that bright silver shine fades into a dull gray. This isn't failure, it's progress. Zinc reacts with the air to form a protective patina that actually improves corrosion resistance. So, when galvanized metal stops being shiny, It's not aging poorly. It's evolving. Think of it as metal growing wisdom. Let's clear up a few things before misinformation spreads like rust itself. Galvanized metal is not stainless steel. Stainless steel resists corrosion because chromium is mixed directly into the metal. Galvanized steel is still regular steel on the inside. It's just protected by a zinc coating on the outside. Same goal, very different approach. It's also not painted steel. Paint sits on the surface and looks tough until it gets scratched. Zinc doesn't quit when damaged. Even with a scratch, nearby zinc continues to corrode first and protect the steel underneath. Paint gets scratched and immediately gives up, and galvanized metal isn't immortal. In harsh conditions, the zinc will eventually wear away. But it does so slowly and predictably, giving plenty of warning before the steel underneath is ever exposed. In short, galvanized metal isn't pretending to be indestructible. It's just being smart about protection. So, what exactly is galvanized metal? It's steel that's been given a zinc bodyguard, one that willingly takes the damage so the steel doesn't have to. No magic, no mystery, just chemistry being very clever. Galvanized metal isn't flashy, and it doesn't brag. But it quietly lasts longer, resists corrosion, and proves that sometimes the smartest solution isn't being stronger. It's choosing the right sacrifice. And now, the next time someone casually says, "Oh yeah, that's galvanized," you'll actually know what they mean. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hats off to Zinc. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.